Well, we started Got You Six Music because of many bad experiences in the industry, and as we touched on earlier, there's a lot of the music industry's got this black grey area of, like, you know, murky sort of like guys dealing with musicians and stuff, and we come from it from a different angle. We are artists working for artists. We've been there and done that. We've done it in different guises and had different success at it, and we've got lots of different things that we can bring to the table that is going to be beneficial to bands and artists collectively. So that's pretty much what the future is for Got You Six Music.
Yeah, and it again, you know, there's been a few things that have appeared in the press lately. I mean, you know, as everybody knows, anything to do with entertainment has that, you know, watch these people, don't talk to that guy, you know, these people are after your money, you know. It's been like that since day one. I mean, back in the day, if you had a real record deal where they gave you $1 million, you owed them $1 million. So at the end of the day, unless you were a massive hit, you never made any money. And people complain today, oh, it's not fair, we're not making any money. Well, nobody's ever really made any money. You know, I mean, you know, Van Halen had sold 10 million records, and the guys in the band were on $75 a week retainer each after selling millions of records because they owed all this money. The good thing about today is that, you know, you can do stuff by yourself, and you can put stuff out by yourself, and you can go through a smaller independent company, and actually all the money you make goes in your pocket, apart from your expenses, you know, obviously, like if you press CDs or vinyl or whatever now. But as Dan was saying, you know, we've been doing this for so long. You know, don't get me wrong, we have made every mistake that there is in the book. It's not like, oh, these guys are perfect, they know exactly what they're doing. It's like we've learned, but we have so many people that work with us who've worked for Sting, Gary Newman, Brian May, ZZ Top, Blur. You know, we've got a group of people that can do anything, and they're reliable. So if you said to me, look, I need to ship a container from here to here with gear in it, or even with machinery in it, one phone call and we can get it done, you know. And we want to bring that to newer artists, bands that can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, and say, look, we can help you at least get a few steps up the ladder, you know, and advise you and guide you, just like we were guided. Because
well, I mean, but the thing is, it's all down to a lot of these bands. They can release themselves, they can organise their own things, but it's so much better for them to have representation and have someone behind them doing that for them. And also with our mistakes that we've made and the contacts we have the right contacts, we have the good people to turn to, and that's why we are artists working for artists. That's our slogan, right?
Yeah. So. Yeah, and you know, I mean, again, as another little example, years ago when I was in Nashville, I got friendly with a VP of a big company who's now retired, and we've been working on a project just recently. And because we know somebody, because of course, again, it still goes back to who you know. You know, because we know somebody, we spoke to this guy about this project, and he said, you need to speak to this guy. And now this project is with a company that they're looking into perhaps doing something with it. So again, it's what they used to call, and I think they still do, none of these companies, none of the bigger companies like what's called unsolicited mail. So how do you get to those companies in the first place? Well, we have at least one or two keys to those doors, to, you know, again, to help keep this business going.
I think it's a very fine balance between telling an artist what they can and can't do, but also giving them the advice, taking them out of their bedroom or wherever they've been playing, and giving them the right tools and mindset to know that certain music is going to make them certain success. I think that's vital. I mean, there's a lot of labels that do. And I've experienced it myself, where they start getting into the production side of a record when they shouldn't, like CEOs of record labels getting more involved in the production side. It's like, well, you're taking away a little bit of the artistic talent there. But I think there's a fine line with telling them what's guiding, really, isn't it? It's just guiding them along the right path.
And again, it's changing again because, you know, some of the bands that we used to like in the 80s, early 90s, you know, they would record a whole album, and then the executives who weren't musicians, basically were accountants and lawyers, would say, no, you're going to have to do that all again. So then they have to record it all again and write some other songs for it, you know. So you've got that extreme. Then you've got the other extreme where there's no input at all. I think there's always try and go for this middle ground. You're trying to get, it's like there's always somebody who drives too fast, or there's somebody who drives too slow. You want to be that person in the middle, driving just right, you know. And again, with any artist, any band, singer, whatever, you know, do you want to be a commercial radio play artist? Is that what your goal is? Or do you want to be an underground band that is only gonna have an audience, still gonna have an audience, but if that's what you want to do, then you can't complain that nobody wants to play your music on the radio, or whatever radio there are. You know, it's like there are certain genres of music that will be played on radio, and there's certain, again, it's you have to understand what it is you want. You know, personally for me, I've done all that sort of underground band sort of thing, and because music styles have changed so much, I want to work on music that gets played on the radio. You know, I want to work on music that makes people want to drive the car and open the window and tap their feet and things like that, you know. But I still respect and like to work on music that's more underground, a little bit different, you know, a little bit more extreme. So again, it's balance.